We've talked about college prep. Now we're going to talk about QuestBridge's headliner, the big program, which is their national match. The national match program is aimed at seniors, and the application is going to open in the fall of your senior year. So I talked about match a little bit before, but we're going to go into and really deep here and cover all of the bases. National Match is a scholarship application process that, again, is aimed to match low income, high achieving students to elite universities and college partners with a full ride to these selective schools. So that is going to include your tuition, your room and board, travel expenses to and from school. So that means when you're moving up, whether you're going home for Thanksgiving, winter and spring breaks, and also things like books and supplies that you're going to need for school. Because as any new college student will tell you, textbooks are so expensive, it's basically highway robbery. The key here is that if you match with one of the partner schools, you are going to have, your parents are going to pay nothing. There is no expected family contribution and there are no student loans. However, you may have to contribute some student savings. Let's say if you have a part-time job and you've been saving up on the side, you might have to contribute some of that. And you may also include work study in your financial aid package. For those who are unfamiliar with work study, basically this is an opportunity in your financial aid package. They give you like a limit. So let's say you got $5,000 for work study. That would come out to $2,500 a semester. So when you've got a work study job, that work study funding pays your wages at most schools. This also means you could only work up to a certain number of hours for work study. Say if you were making $10 an hour, you would have to work 250 hours to meet your work study cap. Again, this is just like a regular job you have to apply for, but when you are a work study student, it comes from the federal government, not from the school itself. So it's just different in who's paying you. Just to give a picture of how much money there is in the QuestBridge program, over $2 billion with a B, dollars have been offered to QuestBridge students by their college partners. So there is a really good opportunity here to get your college tuition covered. So now that we've talked a little bit about what Match is and what all the sweet setup and perks are, how does Match, as I mentioned before, it's a college admissions and scholarship process through which we're going to match these high achieving, low income students to these schools. Notably, this has got an early admission aspect. So you're going to be admitted early with a full 4-year scholarship to one of these partner schools that I discussed before. So once you fill out the QuestBridge application, the internal application, you then get to rank 12 partner schools. And then you're going to submit application materials to these schools, just like you would in any other situation where you're applying to college, just like you would on the Common App. And then if you're admitted to one of these schools, you're going to receive a full ride to the highest school that you ranked. So let's say that I ranked in order Penn, Princeton, Yale, U Chicago. If I get into Penn, my admission is binding and I go to Penn. So even if I got into Penn and to U Chicago, I still have to go to Penn. So this is one thing to keep in mind when you're applying to the match program and you're ranking schools, that this admission is binding. So whichever school you get into that you ranked the highest, you have to go there. With the exception of 3 partner schools, it's not binding at MIT, Princeton, or Yale. So you really want to make sure that you're ranking schools that you're in love with and you want to go to. So what does this timeline look like with all the different application elements? Applications for the main QuestBridge match program are due September 28th, and you have to submit your ranking of partners, college partners, up to 12 of them by October 14th. And then you're notified if you're a finalist on October 19th. So being a finalist is different than getting matched. If you're a finalist, that means QuestBridge, as a scholarship program, has identified you as a high achieving low income student. They feel that you're a good fit for the program and you represent QuestBridge's values. However, this does not mean that you match. And in fact, not all finalists even rank schools. For example, I didn't rank any schools because I knew that Penn was my first choice and I wanted to apply to Penn, regular early decision. So if I didn't get into Penn through QuestBridge, I didn't want to get stuck going to a school that I wasn't really interested in. So just because ranking is an option, you don't actually have to rank. You can just apply to the program to be a finalist, which means you're just getting that recognition as a QuestBridge scholar that you're a really qualified and competitive applicant going into the college admissions process. But after you're notified that if you're a finalist or not, you're going to submit your additional materials to the colleges that you ranked by November 1st.